Hello, trading is closed on the 3rd of June 2015. As usual, let's go over my last calls from yesterday. We had two mejt targets. One was 21.15.51 that was hit early and proved to be a good support resistance area. There was an ultimate target of 21.17.60 that was also hit, and there was resistance and support. I said I thought the chances of failure to print during the preferred time frame would be present if we didn't have a gap over this high. We had a gap. It didn't go over the high, but it did hit this target within its preferred time frame, and as always, there are no preferred time frames for ultimate targets. So the prices were hit, and they gave the usual support and resistance. June to August of this year marks the 13th anniversary of the rules for the mejt system, and they're all explained in my book. And if you go to TradeStation and search for mejt, they are all explained in the software, which actually talks you through the whole system. During the day, mejt said that was a false move and that prices would return to this line right here on or after this time. It says this move is false and prices will return to this blue line on or after this time, which they did. So all the targets from today have been satisfied, and that puts me at somewhat of a disadvantage because I rely on the targets to come up with my prediction. I'm going to use some other things. I want to preface everything by saying we have an employment report coming out Friday, and sometimes, in spite of all our calculations, the market does nothing on the day before an employment report and waits a day for the opportunity to do its thing. We have some strong resistance and some support, and it's just a question of who wins. Let's go over the resistance first. This is a TDST line on the half-a-day chart. There's also a TDST line in a very similar place on some other charts too, and you can see how it offers resistance. Here's our diamond on stilts pattern. Let's go over the significant levels. The first challenge of the origin of the left stilt has held. Prices need to break through the diamond. Here's the high of the diamond here, and that held. Here's the first move up, the first stilt up, and that's an important resistance level, and that held right here at the end. The market has to close over this level and hold it through the following open to show that this piddling around is going to proceed on the upside. So far, it just hasn't been able to do it. So resistance has held. The catch is that when you knock on the door of resistance this often, it increases the chances that you break through. This is a very important level here, and we just could not break through in the afternoon. This is 3 days straight, actually 4 days straight, where we start off rallying and give it all back. It's a very weak pattern. It shows that the public wants in and the specialists do not, but you really have to break through in the downside to confirm that pattern. This, just as we had resistance on top, we have support here. If that's a stilt, and that's a stilt, and here's your half a diamond, which is all you need. You measure the height of the diamond, which goes right to this mejt price, and that's 38.2, and here's 100%, and that's the target. So we did find some support at the target. Yesterday's pattern almost always closes near the high. If it doesn't close near the high, we typically have a gap over it. That didn't happen. It's a sign of weakness. We had a perfect opportunity for a big drop today. Instead, we have a pattern which often closes near the low of the day, which couldn't take out any of these lows. So once again, we have bullish and bearish signals. I think that pretty soon it's time to fish or cut a bait for tomorrow and possibly Friday, but most likely tomorrow. We really have to take out this high very promptly to prevent lower prices from printing. If we have a gap over this high, or if we gap up and take it out promptly, we have overcome resistance and strong resistance to boot. But if these lows fall, and I think that's very likely because we have an unfilled gap here, which tends to fill. If these lows fall, particularly by having a gap down, it could lead to a very big drop. So tomorrow or possibly early Friday should tell the tale. Tomorrow's open in particular is going to be very significant, and that's today's call.